Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome to week 5 of Build Your Stash and Craft. And in week 5 we are going to make our own handmade washi tape. And I have already gotten a piece of parchment paper and I made it about 18 inches long because I want to use this to decorate my the edges of my new faux roll top desk, and so I figured that that would be a good length for me to be able to use. I have filled my whole width of parchment paper except for just a couple here, so I can just show you how I did it. I just took a piece that was a little bit longer than my parchment paper. Whoops. And then what I do is I take the top and I fold it over just a little bit. That gives you a tab that's non-stick. I'm going to make a mess here. And I just put that at the beginning of my parchment paper and then just press it down. My first one, my last one, and a couple in the middle, I ran off the other end of my parchment paper just to hold it down a little bit. And then when I'm done, I will trim that end straight. These ones do not go off the edge, so they'll be just fine. But just go ahead again, just fold over a little tab so that you have a little tab that doesn't have any sticky on it. That'll make it easier when you're ready to use it. That will make it easier for you to peel it off. And actually, just like I'm going to peel this one off. See how non-stick that parchment paper is? That works really well. I'm going to kind of have to work around the leg of my tripod here. I don't really want these to overlap. You can make them as close as you want. I leave just a little gap between them, but you don't have to do that. Take this last piece and get it on here, just like that. And then all you're going to do is add some paint, and then we're going to let that paint dry. And I've chosen to use red, yellow, and blue because I think I'm going to use red, yellow, and blue. Tissue paper to decorate my box, and so that way I figured my washi tape would match. You could do a whole piece like this and do it in like different sections of different colors. I'm just going to take this and just wipe it off on here. Don't want to waste that paint. I also have a piece of wipe off paper over here to my side. And let's just do it one color at a time to start with. So I'm just going to take my paintbrush, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some color on here, because this is basically just like doing a backing for a background paper. So don't think too much about it. Don't worry about it. If you make some kind of a big pattern on here, it's not going to show when you take it off anyways. So just remember that each one of these pieces is an individual piece. And we'll get some paint on. We'll let the paint dry. And then we'll use our black permanent marker and our white marker, which is actually a whiteout pen, correction tape pen, or not tape, I guess, just correction fluid, which works really well. But there we go. I've pretty much run out of my red. And maybe I'll go this way a little bit too. What the heck. There we go. And I'm just going to take my wipe off paper, pull some of that off of there. I do have a wet paper towel here to clean this off a little bit. And I am going to get that red off of my paintbrush. It could mix with yellow and make orange. It could mix with blue and make purple. But I would really prefer to have my 3 colors on here a little bit separate and just let them blend on the paper if they blend. Let me get another piece of paper towel here. I just got a cool wet bowl of water. There we go. Get that dried off. And then I just cut these little tabs out of a piece of cardboard just as a way to get my paint out of the tubes without having to stick my brush in there. I'm just going to take a little bit of this and put it on our palette. Just kind of brush it off on there a little bit. I better put the lid back on because I'm notorious for spilling things. And now I'm just going to kind of go into some of the open spots. Mostly just, not that I don't want to cover up the other or I don't want them to blend, but I do want to make sure that I kind of have all of my masking tape covered up. Or at least mostly covered up by the time that I'm done. You don't want a big tan spot sticking out. And this blue is really going far. So I think I actually may wind up sticking some of it back in its jar. That is the one thing I like about these little jars, is that they're easy to get the paint out of, and if you have to put some back, they're easy to put the paint back. This is going to be very bright, I think. Bright is not usually something I do. I'm more of a brown kind of girl. And rust and coppers. But this is what I wound up with this time, because that's the colors they had at the dollar store. And the nice thing about that is it's forcing me into something that I don't normally do. We get kind of stuck in, oh, these are my favorite colors, and then you use those a lot. And it's nice sometimes to be forced out of your comfort zone and get you into trying different things, because you'll find that, oh wow, you know, I really didn't realize that I would like the way that turned out, and now I'm done and it turned out beautiful. So I'm going to just use my stick again. Take some of this paint off of here because I have a pretty big blob. And there we go with the blue. Just put that on my wipe-off paper. And the wipe-off paper then you can eventually use to make flowers. You can use it as a background for a journal page or for a tag, anything that you feel like doing. There we go, and then we're finally going to do a little bit of yellow. And then I did also get out those same colors in my glitter paint. Stir this up a little bit since I forgot to shake it. And put that on my palette. And again, my palette is just a oatmeal lid. I'm gonna clean my brush off. Oh, and now I have some really pretty purple water. Give it a really good squeeze. I'm even going to get one more piece of paper towel. I should have kind of just squeezed it off with my fingers above the bowl before I tried to dry it. I dripped a little bit of water, so I'm going to wipe that off. Okay, now we'll take some yellow and put that in our blank spots. And when I'm all done with this, I'm going to come back with a video on making your own little faux roll top desk, which was something The reason I came up with the idea is I stopped at a secondhand store and they had the cutest little roll top desk. And it was $30, which for a little, and it was all wood. It was an older roll top desk, but it was very small. The only problem was I tried to figure out if I picked it up, because I thought, oh, that would work really cute to keep all of my stuff in, because I do make sure that I keep all of my Build Your Stash and Craft supplies totally separate from any other supplies that I have, so that I only use these supplies. And the problem was, no matter how hard I thought of where I could put it in my house, what I could move, I need a little more yellow, where I could put it, I could not think of any spot in my house to put it. So I had to leave it behind. And it was only $30, and I thought that was really good, but if you can't fit it, you can't fit it. I can't be so much of a hoarder that I just get a desk and stick it in the middle of the room. And that's about the only place I would have had for it. So anyways, then I was thinking about it that night in bed, how I just thought it was so cute, and how it would be nice to have all the different little cubbies. And I thought, well, I can build myself a little roll top desk box, because it can be moved around. It can be sat here or there. And it won't be in the way. So that's where I came up with the idea. And that video will go up shortly, and I still need a little more yellow. It's surprising. I thought the yellow would almost go the furthest, because it's kind of seems to be the brightest. And that little bit I don't think is going to do much for me here, but we'll see. So, yeah, so that's where I came up with my idea for the roll top, and my videos are ready, so I have them here. But I couldn't do it until I got the supplies for this week, because I needed the masking tape and I needed the razor knives, which is why they were on our list for this week. And there was something else. Oh, and I needed the glue that we got from last week. So I needed some of these items to actually create it. So as soon as I got my hands on these, I started that desk. Or box, I guess I should call it. And they're not hard at all, a little time consuming. And you have to wait for your glue to dry. That's your biggest thing. When you're gluing parts together, you really have to wait for your glue to dry when you're making some kind of a storage unit or anything like that, because you want it to be really sturdy and last. So if you don't wait for your glue to dry, you wind up having more problems later on. I'm going to just put the rest of that on my wipe off sheet over here. And since I was just doing yellow, thank goodness I didn't spill it because I left the lid off. Since I was just doing the yellow, so I don't have to clean my palette right away, I am going to put on a little yellow glitter now. And I think what I'm going to do with the glitter is kind of put it in the same spots as where I have the yellow. I think that I kind of want the yellow glitter on top of the yellow spots, and so on, so that we don't get too bad of a mix. You don't want mud, although these colors do blend very well. They're your three primary colors. So you've got your red and your blue make purple. Your yellow blue make green. Yellow and red make orange. So they do blend pretty nicely. Alrighty, we're going to call that good. Get a little bit on my finger. Don't want to waste that. Get a little bit of the red glitter. I think this is going to turn out very pretty. I don't know how well it's showing up there. I do need to rinse my brush off really well. Put out some of our red glitter. I can just put that on there without wiping that off because this glitter is so clear. I'm going to squeeze my brush out. And there we go. Yes, these are very different. I've never seen anything like this. Kind of jelly like this. It's actually really quite neat. I'm trying to kind of get just a little bit everywhere. There, I think that looks pretty good. And then we'll just get a little bit of blue glitter. And then we're going to use our white paint to do a little stenciling on there. And our white and black markers to do a little doodling. I'm going to just wipe this off. And our blue glitter is more kind of almost a purpley glitter. So the thing is that you don't have to have a lot of money to craft. I have a lot of things. If you look at my videos and you look at my craft room tours, you'll see that I have a lot of things. But I've collected those over the years, and I really mean years. I still have things from when I was a kid, and like 7, 8, and 9 kind of kid. I've got some of my original chalk pastels, and I've got some original colored pencils, and so it's taken me a long time to get what I have. And I also really do a lot of looking for my items at garage sales. I've bought D-stashes here for a while on some things that I wanted. And there we go. So you don't have to spend a whole lot of money on crafting. And if you spend a whole lot of money on something that you're really not enjoying, then it just makes you feel kind of depressed. It makes you feel bad. So, you know, crafting needs to be fun. And you want to make sure that you don't make yourself unhappy because of, you know, the money that you've spent on something you don't like. You know, as you're going through these items, you know, we're going to use a lot of our glue. And we've already used it to make our jars, you know, and you may have made quite a few jars, so you've used a lot of it. As you go through, you know, and you say, well, now I'm almost out of this, that's when you go buy some more. You know, you buy small amounts and then buy more as you go. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and upload this, and then I'll be back. Okay, so while I was uploading the video, the tape has dried, and so I've put a little bit of white on my palette, and now I just want to take my paintbrush and really spread it out. And I want to use some of my stamps that we just made in week 4. I'm going to just use my brush until all the white comes off of there. just go ahead and, oh, those turned out really cute. And I am getting some on my cardboard. That's okay. This is, if that were to get on there, but it's really not getting on there. But if you get a little bit of paint on your cardboard, it actually just winds up making your cardboard a little bit more waterproof or dampness proof, however you want to call it, because you're not really going to put it in water, but kind of actually puts a protective layer on your cardboard. When you're using stencils and stuff, you make a stencil out of cardboard. The more you use it, the more paint you get on it. Actually, the more sturdy it becomes. Or the sturdier, I guess I should say. More sturdy's not a word. But now I've got my little dots here. Let's get some of those around. But yeah, and then this is just random order. And then after you get a little bit of interest here with your black and your white, then you can go in with your pens and doodle around what you've got here and doodle in your blank spaces. I really like those little dots. Oh, I know what one I want to use. I actually want to try this. I want to try this solid one and see how it looks when it gets stamped. You should be able to see it right there. Oh, that looks pretty cool. I like that. And it's just going to show up on different strips of the tape. So it's not really going to look like a box when we're done. When we take those pieces of tape apart, stamp it off a little bit. And then let's see what else. How about these dots? Yeah, that looks good too. Kind of getting low on my paint here. Gonna pull some of this out a little bit. Spread it out a little bit. Use what I have on my brush first. But, so anyways, all of a sudden I went quiet. It's getting to be a little bit late in the day. I wanted to have this ready to go up tomorrow, so figured I'd try and make sure I got it done. There we go. I think I've got enough white on there. So now I'm gonna put that aside. I'm just going to wipe off my brush. Okay, and now I've already put some black out here. Spread that around. And I think that we'll try these little 3 dots. See how they look. Yeah, that looks cool. Do that again. And they can overlap the white. Let's use this individual dot. Put some of those on there. Do a little stamping off so they get lighter. And you just keep on going until there's a couple little dots right there because I stuck my fingers in the paint. You just keep going until it looks good to you. There's no right, there's no wrong. And you don't have to use the black and the white to put some more interest on here. You could actually use a color. You could just go back in and put some more red, blue, and yellow. And it would be a little more solid coming off the stamp. So it would show up. Let's see, what haven't we used? We haven't used this flower yet, so we're going to try that one. The ones that I hand cut, I didn't bring any of those out because they're so large that going on something where only little bits of it are going to show like this, I thought that it wouldn't work very well. I like those more for like a background on a larger piece. And so that's why I didn't pull any of those out. And I'll have plenty of time to use those on different things, journal pages and all different sorts of things like that. I think I may be getting close to having this as decorated as I want it, because I still need some room to, I need some room to doodle. Is there anything I haven't used that I want to use? No, I think I'm good. And I think that looks good to me. Oh, I don't have anything down in this corner, white or black. So let's get a little something down here. There we go. And maybe just for the heck of it, we'll try a few of the little teeny tiny dots. Oh, that might just be a mess, but that's all right. Okay, that's good for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe off the top of my stamps with a damp cloth and just carefully wipe them off because you don't want to pull off your... As a matter of fact, the best way to clean these stamps is to have your wet towel, which it's so warm in here because we heat with wood. I had this out a little while ago and it was all wet. And I'm going to have to get it wet again because now it's dry. But sometimes the easiest way is to just get a damp towel and then just stamp them off like that to get your paint off. And first you can even stamp them off on your wipe off sheet and then use your damp towel to kind of take some of that paint off. So, all right, now I'm going to let this dry and then come back in and just do some doodling on here. And we'll be using our white correction pen and our black Sharpie. So I'm going to upload this part and I will be back as soon as this is dry to put a few doodles on there. Okay, I started to do a little bit of doodling on here and I thought I would just come on and show you really quick how nicely this pen works. I like to just kind of start it like on the side or something, just like any other paint pen that I use. And then you don't have to push on it while you're writing, unless if it seems to be running out of white, then you just give it a little tiny push. You just make sure that you don't push too hard, or you'll, like you don't, this is how you get it to come out. You kind of squeeze right here a little bit. So, but you don't squeeze all the time because otherwise you'll have way too much coming out. But yeah, it works really well. And it even, I wasn't sure, I thought, how will it work on this uneven surface with the glitter and everything? And it's working just perfectly. So I am really, really happy with it, especially for the price and for the fact that I've had some... Now right there, that wasn't the pen's fault. I hit the edge of the tape there. But I do my doodling over the whole thing. I don't stop when I get to the edge of the tape, just because when I look at it as a whole, if I were to stop at the edge of the tape, it would look wrong to me. So I do have to, just go ahead and do my whole doodle before I stop. But yes, this works really well. I am just so happy with it. I wanted to put a little white center in the middle of these couple of flowers. And yeah, you can just doodle over your whole thing until it's how you like it. And then your washi tape will be done. You can add bits of your fingernail polish to that, a little more of the glitter glue if you were able to get that. Just all sorts of doodling. You can doodle with a regular blue ink pen. You can do it however you want. I'm not going to doodle the whole thing because it's going to take a long time. And to me, doodling is, I also make sure that I wipe this point. Didn't want to forget to tell you that. Doodling is just nice and relaxing, so I don't want to have to try and really rush through it. But I did want to show you how well that white pen works and how it looks. So this is what we actually have. Peel it off my table. And this is what our tape looks like. I really like it. On this end, we have our little tabs so that we can pull it off easy. And it does not stick to the parchment too much. So, you'll have places where you'll see it lifting up. It's not because your tape isn't sticky. It's just because nothing likes to stick to parchment. And that's what parchment's all about. This is the end where I had some sticking off the end. And so what I'll do is I'll just flip it over. Might as well grab my scissors and do that right now. Just flip it over and just trim this end off so that those aren't sticking out. And then you might think, well, how am I going to store that? And it's so easy to store. All you need to do is take the end that you have, the end where your little tabs are. That's going to be your finishing end. So you just go ahead and you just take it and roll it up just like this. So you can make this, because your masking tape will go as long as you want it, your parchment will go as long as you want it. You can make your washi tape as long as you want to make it. Now, you could put a rubber band around that. The only thing to me is a rubber band may want to squish it. So what I do is I just put a paper clip on each end, and that just holds it really nicely without squishing it. And there, it's stored perfectly. Rolling it up doesn't hurt it at all. And you've got your own homemade washi tape. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I really did. And I'm going to use that when I decorate my roll top. I want to show you what is next for week 6, what you're going to need for week 6. So week 6, we're going to make some of the accordion envelopes that I saw Betsy Doodle make, and they're making them all over the place. So I thought it'd be a good time for us to make them, so you're doing what everybody else is doing. So you'll need a box of envelopes. You can get any type that you want. I got the long ones. You can get the short ones. These are self-sealing. They have the kind that you can lick. You get a few more on those. But we'll need our envelopes. We will need some cosmetic wedges. We'll need some buttons for a closure. We will need some stick glue and some twine. Now I got this cotton twine in the hardware section of Dollar Tree, and I can paint this any color that I want it, and there's a lot here. Now they also have, like you can get in the craft department, 3 little rolls of the baker's twine that's colored, and it comes in 3 different colors in one package. And I thought about getting that, but I really wanted to do this so that I knew it would match my project, and also so that I would have a lot more of it so that I'll be able to use it longer. So this is what we're going to need. Our 5 items are envelopes, glue sticks, buttons, makeup sponges, and cotton twine. So this is going to be for next week, and next week we are going to make the accordion envelopes like everybody else is making right now, and then we can use that to hold some of our goodies. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you enjoy making your own washi tape, and have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.